So in today's video, I'm sharing how to fix a broken relationship by assessing toxic behavior. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through kind of a mini workshop, who's supportive in your life, who's not, and a little bit about your own relationship behavior, because we have to look at ourselves too. But if you're new, my name's Michelle Ferris. I'm a psychotherapist, and I love helping people create relationships that work. So the key to fixing a broken relationship is knowing what to fix. You have to understand what's happening in your relationships. And that's what these 3 checklists are going to give you. So if you want your own written copy of this, go to the description under relationship checklists, print it out, and then follow along. And for each checklist, what I want you to do is I want you to write down the name or names of anybody that comes up that fits that particular trait. And at the end, you're going to notice who is supportive, who is challenging or toxic, and what relationship behaviors you want to strive for. So first, we're going to walk through the supportive relationship checklist. These are people who already support and love you. These are the people you feel safe with, that you already are going to for support. But here's the thing. If you've had any toxic relationships like me, it can be really tempting to focus all of your energy on trying to change those relationships versus actually trying to value the ones you already have. So when I did this a couple of years back, I realized there was one girlfriend on the list that I already knew was supportive, but I didn't realize how supportive. She had every single trait. And that really made me realize that I had to spend more time cultivating that relationship because that was already giving me what I needed. So the supportive relationship checklist is going to help you acknowledge what is working, which I think is super important in this process. Because you might be surprised who's actually really showing up for you. These are also signs of healthy relationship behavior. These are the people who are very respectful of you. So some common signs of healthy relationship behavior are they make you feel good about yourself when you're around them. They listen without making you feel guilty, respecting your boundaries and need for self-care. And they help you even when it isn't necessarily convenient. They also don't expect you to give up your needs for theirs. Now, I'm not going to go over every single quality, but you can fill it out later. So the next one is the challenging relationship checklist. These are lists of toxic behaviors that you want to identify in all of your relationships. So again, for each trait, I want you to write down the name or names of the people who are exhibiting that trait. Now you may be thinking, well, I already know who's toxic or isn't working. Yeah, but do you know to what degree? Do you know how toxic they are? Because if you do this list and you see they have all 10 qualities, that is a pretty big red flag. One of the reasons why I want you to do this list is I want you to recognize who is really toxic and who you may need to start practicing really strong boundaries or detachment with because they're not good for you. Even if you're not ready to leave that relationship, if you know that these people are not good for you because they exhibit almost every trait on the checklist, that's going to help you know where you need to protect yourself the most. And you may be shocked to see just how toxic some people in your life are. But again, it doesn't mean you have to leave the relationship, but it does make you think, how often do you want to see them? How do you want to protect yourself? Because you're probably going to need to do a lot more boundary setting with these kind of people. Now, if you've ever had a toxic person in your life, say me too in the comments. I'm right there with you, but this checklist is going to help. So some examples of toxic behavior on this checklist include they make you doubt yourself and your abilities. They expect your support, but they rarely give you theirs. They may get frustrated if you need any time or attention from them. They may want to control things and have things go their way versus being able to be flexible. These are some really key toxic behaviors that I want you to recognize in your relationships. These are a few examples, but I also want you to take the time to fill the rest out. You can even pause this video if you want to do that. So the next checklist is the relationship behaviors checklist. This is how you're going to assess your own relationship behavior, because sometimes we're so focused on what other people are doing wrong, we don't recognize that we may actually be contributing to the relationship not being healthy. Now, this also means that I don't want you to beat yourself up once you see that you may not have all of these healthy behaviors. Because let's face it, if you've come from a dysfunctional childhood like me, you probably didn't learn healthy relationship behavior growing up, and that's okay. That's why you're here, and that's why I'm teaching you with these checklists. Okay, so here are a few examples of healthy relationship behavior. I can balance helping others with helping myself. I often recognize when a relationship isn't working. This is key. Another healthy behavior trait is I know what my boundaries are and how to set them. Another one is I honor my values instead of giving up what I want for others. So take some time right now and fill the rest out, but notice what relationship behaviors you do have and which ones you're struggling with. And don't judge yourself, because part of why I made this list is for you to have a goal on what's next for you. How do you want to behave in your relationships? Because healthy relationships are all about putting your own needs first and being able to still give the way you want to give. It's not an either or. Healthy relationships aren't about sacrificing yourself for what other people want. And they're also not about you being so consumed with your own self that you can't be flexible in relationship. Because the goal in these checklists is to just assess what's working and what isn't. And part of that is to name toxic behavior for what it is. So you might want to set some goals on what of these relationship behaviors do you want to work on in the next few weeks. Pick one or two, because that's how you're going to start creating healthier relationships. Now, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to go watch my video on how to have healthy relationships. Thanks so much.